When John Coker moved his family to Salado Creek from Tennessee, on land given to him for heroism at the Battle of San Jacinto, Coker Church was born 125 years ago. Coker Church began to bloom where it was planted. Early traveling preachers known as circuit riders brought 2 books with them in their saddlebags, a Bible and the hymn book. The growing Coker family congregation sang their faith together as they worshiped God. Many circuit riders also traveled with sacred harp singing books. Much of Coker's early musical life is obscured by the past, but no doubt Coker members participated in the sacred harp singing gatherings held in Bexar County by the mid-1800s. San Antonio and Austin sacred harp sings were held at churches from 1900 onward. Coker will host a National Sacred Harp Convention at the end of this July. During the Great Depression of the 1930s, Bertha Jones played the piano and Clara Gordon led the opening and closing song service at worship. An organized music ministry began to take shape by the early 1940s. By 1942, choir membership was between 5 and 10 people. Later, Dr. and Mrs. C.J. Merritt were holding choir rehearsals in their home. And the men of this choir were strongly against wearing robes, which they thought made them look as if they had skirts on.
The 1960s was a time of great growth for music at Coker. The adult choir now numbered 25 to 30 members. Youth also sang in the adult choir by 1963, and a junior choir organized by 1966. Our first church organ fundraised donations amounting to $1,280 by 1966. In the 1970s, a youth choir was active, and in August of 1977, Mary Robertson organized our first children's choirs. Coker leaders added a full-time music director in 1983, and a much younger Dave Collette became Coker's first minister of music in 1985. Carol Schultz established a tradition of producing Broadway musicals also in 1985, which continues on to the present day. In 2008, Coker's music ministry is made up of 14 choirs and ensembles, including the Celebrate Band, Youth Praise Band, the Festival Bells Jubilee Adult Handbell Choir, the Coker Orchestra, Moving Spirits Dancers, and a significant concert series begun by Elaine Ehlers in 1986. The hundreds of participants now active in music ministry at Coker embrace a wide variety of musical styles, and these volunteers donate hundreds of thousands of volunteer hours preparing music for worship. Coker musicians are also in mission and ministry in a variety of ways, from working on habitat houses to singing on mission trips, leading conference events, and passing on faith to the next generation. Coker music makers are shaping a bright future rooted in continuing our tradition of making a joyful noise to the Lord.